stop me if you've heard this one before. The main character and a small robot sidekick used their wrench to beat up bad guys, level up their guns, and had an underwhelming run on the PlayStation 2. Ratchet and Clank? Nope, we're talking about robots, baby! In present day, we have movies that are inspired by and based off of popular video games. But almost 2 decades ago, it seemed like a lot of the video games were based off of movies. And for some reason, the transition between the two, whether it's movie to game or game to movie, seems to always fall flat. Except for the Sonic 2 movie, that one was kind of a banger. Robots the video game follows the movie from DreamWorks' Robots, but like very, very loosely. Like looser than a 4-year-old's shoelaces that he just learned to tie for himself for the first time. But I gotta say, this was one of my favorite games growing up, and because of how near and dear it was to my heart, I'm ready to absolutely rip it down to its scraps. All right, let's go. We opened the game to more logos than if we were watching the actual movie, and we're popped into Rodney's hometown, which is just basically this one street. This beginning area is just meant to be a little tutorial area, and after we do our little collect-a-thon, Rodney changes to his big boy parts.
That's a penis!
And then my dad does what every good Texas dad does, gives their son a gun for their 13th birthday. My dad is so getting fired after this one. We essentially rob what looks like an office to be able to afford a train fare to get out of this dump, and then we go off to Robot City.
He took the midnight train going anywhere.
We hop off the train, and if a guy looks like this and he's waving at you at the moment you get off of the train, go the other direction, my friend. But he asks us to recover some blueprints for an upgrade to our Wonderbot, so we travel through the rooftops and the sewers, and like literally sewers. And then we crash in from the ceiling and get robbed by the Incredible Hulk. You'll notice that nearly every single level in this game is collecting some sort of blueprints. The idea is that each level is like a collect-a-thon, but in a linear manner where you have to get all the collectibles before you reach the end of the level. After this though, we learn how to electrocute our little friend. The next level we start in this train station where we're stopped by another homeless guy wanting us to collect stuff for him, followed by another guy who looks like he needs to pee. And then we meet Tim from the TV show. That's me! I swear this guy has the most punchable face I've ever seen in my life. And what I find funny about this level too is that it insinuates that a train ticket from one town into the big city, which is theorized to be a pretty fair distance, costs the same amount as just renting a quick pod to get from the train station to Midtown. This is the problem with city living, the inflation. We merge onto the freeway and traffic is just as horrible as ever. Like, this must be LA if they got a finish line on the freeway. And then watch me cross 9 lanes real quick.
Good luck, everybody else!
This dude seems way too concerned that his diaries are gonna be posted in the newspaper. Like, he's either gotta have some spicy fanfics in there, or like a plan to steal the Declaration of Independence. We meet Aunt Fanny, and dude, I swear she's what invented thirst trapping. Also, how does she fit in her room? The mailman lost his packages, but half of them are like on the roof. So, brother, if you're not Santa Claus bringing the toys through the chimney, what you doing up there, bro? And then I gotta say, I have a small gripe with this next cutscene. This is also different. This is not part of the movie. In the movie, he was put in a ball with Fender, and Fender like sticks his butt in his face and stuff, and for some reason in the game, it's an old lady, and I don't know why that made that change. It doesn't make sense. I don't get it, but they did. Just a small one. We load into Big Wilt's factory, and dang, dude, I wish I was rich enough to have a piss fountain. And then we meet Tim for the first time for the second time.
You're Tim from the TV show.
It sure is. We met him like 20 minutes ago at the train station. He asks us to get his tools back, so we literally kill some robots to do so. We bring him back, and then he still doesn't let us in. Dude, Tim is a virgin. I said it. Tim's a virgin. Since Tim doesn't let us in though, we go ahead and just do some breaking and entering. We scale the tower, but be careful not to fall. And then we charge up our special attack to be ready to go Super Satan. We learn how to get our little robot guy to carry us using Bumblebee logic, and then we walk in on the Twitter board meeting. This is all because of Elon Musk. He bought the company and now it's in shambles. We gotta help Fender find his head, but before doing that, we meet this clown dude who literally sounds like a clown.
Hey there, youngster.
The dude is literally just missing the red nose. And then we gotta go through this room with literally the slowest moving platforms I've ever seen in my life. And then my dad taught me how to shoot a guy, I guess.
My dad taught me that.
Your dad taught you how to kill a man? I guess my dad is just a murderer. And then I lost the clown. Like, I went back to find him and he just wasn't there. But he's not here anymore. Dude's hiding from me. The next level is a shop level, which is just basically the equivalent to a vehicle level, featuring the slowest text I've ever had the pleasure of reading. Double your power. Dude, I swear they're reusing cinematics. And it's not even a good cinematic, bro. It's the wrong cinematic. It's so wrong. We gotta play this Super Monkey Ball ripoff that just gives me horrible anxiety. Don't do that. It's just a bad level.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
At this point, we find the love interest of the movie, and I don't see why this is the love interest of the movie.
Hey, Rodney.
She's the most boring talker in the world. And then we have a boss fight with the Jolly Green Giant, where you have to use some quick logic skills to figure out where to hit him next. But you really just wait until he's hit all of them but one, and then you hit that one. I don't know, it's pretty easy. I don't know why I had such troubles with this when I was 11 years old. We break into Bigweld's office that's full of bad guys and puzzles, and we need to do all of these platforming and these tasks to try to figure out the code in order to get into his room. But I remember the code from like 13 years ago, and so I just punched it in and we skipped the whole level. We play Bigweld's Temple Run, and genuinely, I don't care if it's essentially an auto-scroller. Bro, this level is fun. We make it inside Dante's Inferno, where the demons are shooting stuff out of their butts, up the spinning vortex of terror, and dude, this level also just kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie. And then we gotta pay off this dementia robot to let us into the final boss. Final boss isn't too hard, it's pretty straightforward. It becomes a first-person shooter where you gotta shoot the giant eyes here, and then after that you move on to the second phase where you just shoot the businessman guy himself. Ratchet, that's his name, like Ratchet and Clank, which this game is basically based off of because it's essentially the same game. But I do find it funny how you can hold the button down to shoot and it's just slow. So it's much more worth your time to just spam the fire button instead because it shoots much faster that way. But after we literally murder the guy and watch him fall to his death, Ninja does a funny Fortnite dance, and that's the video game. This game did have a soft spot in my heart being from my childhood, but I still recognize its faults. The game is incredibly short, confusing at times, and the collectibles can be hidden in a way where if you didn't find it on your first time around, you really stress yourself out trying to backtrack for hours. But the interactions with the locals are a fun addition to the game.
My therapy was canceled today, and I'm very stressed out.
His hits in modern day. And even doing so allows you to do some extra side missions, adding even more content to the game. Some of the rewards you get for these side missions are like the Wonderbot tricks, where Wonderbot does these fun little dances like before TikTok was cool.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds.
Most of the missions in the levels are pretty much the same though, where it's collect this, earn a new ability, go to the end of the level, collect $200. But where it's unique and different, it definitely shines. But overall, if we're considering that this is a movie video game, by golly, it's gotta be one of the best movie video games out there. It's free on an emulator, so feel free to try it out if you'd like. The only thing you're gonna be spending is your time, but you're also probably not missing out too much by skipping it either. But I will say, it's still better than Ratchet and Clank going mobile.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. You could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in.